Let's talk about something that should concern everyone who buys processed food. When you pick up that can of meat or that package of ground beef, you're trusting that what's inside is safe and wholesome. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Modern food processing is incredibly effective at hiding problems you'd easily spot in fresh food. Think about it this way. If you bought a piece of fresh chicken that was starting to spoil, you'd know immediately. The color would be off, there'd be a distinct smell, the texture would feel slimy. Your senses would scream at you not to eat it. But take that same spoiled chicken, grind it up, mix it with preservatives and spices, cook it under high pressure and seal it in a can, and suddenly all those warning signs disappear completely. The industry knows this, of course. Food technologists have spent decades perfecting processes that extend shelf life and improve consistency, but these same processes destroy our ability to evaluate what we're actually eating. Grinding eliminates visual markers. Emulsifying blends away textural problems. High-heat cooking and pressure treatment can mask odors that would otherwise warn us away. And here's where it gets particularly troubling. There's something called rework in the food industry. This is when products that failed quality checks or were returned get reprocessed back into new products. It's legal within certain limits, but companies aren't exactly advertising it on their labels. When you compare fresh versus processed versions of the same contaminated ingredient in laboratory settings, you can document exactly how each processing stage progressively eliminates the detection cues your body evolved to recognize. What regulations exist around rework are often minimal, and enforcement is inconsistent at best. The problem is that laboratory testing, while sophisticated, can't catch everything. And what sensory evaluation might reveal in fresh food simply cannot be revealed once processing is complete. So, what can you do? First, understand that convenience often comes with hidden costs. Minimally processed foods, when you can afford them and have time to prepare them, give you much more information about quality. Second, learn to read ingredient lists critically. Multiple preservatives, long lists of additives, and vague terms like natural flavoring should raise questions. Third, recognize that some convenience products pose disproportionate risks compared to others. Heavily processed meat products, especially those that are shelf-stable at room temperature, require more scrutiny than, say, frozen vegetables. The food industry will argue they're feeding millions safely and efficiently, and that's partly true. But the system is designed to prioritize shelf life and profit margins, not transparency. Your senses are your first line of defense against bad food, and processing deliberately or inadvertently disarms that defense. This doesn't mean you should never buy processed food, but it does mean you should think carefully about which processed foods you trust and why. The more processing steps between farm and table, the more opportunities for quality problems to be masked rather than addressed.